Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Now, are you like me? We've all got these scraps, they sit everywhere. We've got little bits, we've got big bits. Most of us have come from other crafts. Okay, so if you're like me, I've done scrapbooking, I've done card making, I've played with papercraft all these years, and you keep so much stuff. I've got 3 big 13-inch by 13-inch towel boxes, so they're about that high. And I have one with 12 by 12 plain cardstock, one with 12 by 12 patterned paper, one of many, and I have one that says offcuts. And this thing was full, and I mean full. So I pulled it out the other day and I went through it. And I pulled out the bits that I think I might use, and the rest have all gone into a bag, and I mean offcuts. Some of these offcuts might have a corner taken out of the top section of a 12 by 12. Some might be 6 by 12, some are more card size. Now, some of these offcuts have been in there for 10, 15 years. If I've put it in there and not used it, I'm not going to use it. It's time to go through that box. So that's what I did. If it's something that I looked at and went, I'm not going to use that, I put it away and put it into a different bag. If I don't like it, I'm not going to like it on my project. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. If you don't think you're going to use it because you're not quite certain about it, get rid of it. Donate them to the thrift shops. There might be somebody out there, or there will be, that likes those colours or that design or that pattern. You don't need to hoard it. Simple as that. So out of this huge box, this is all I ended up with. So, and some of these might still be a little bit iffy because it's hard to do to start with. Like, I'd never use that, but I may use that because it's grungy and I can stamp over it, okay? Yeah, that side maybe. That I like. You know, they're all, I would use, they're all different sizes, shapes. Some have bits taken out. Like, that's had an inch taken from the top at some stage in its life, and then it's gone into this offcuts box. So some of these are beautiful. Now that's already been scored, but it was in there. I'm going to use that one, definitely. So what we're going to do today is use some of our offcuts. I know you've got them. Go get that box of offcuts. Get them out. Get through some of this scrapbook paper that you've got sitting there. I've now got an empty box, because this was all I've kept out of it. The rest is in a great big bag, and it's gone into my bags in the garage, ready to go to the op shops. Somebody else can get the enjoyment from it. So what I want to do today is play with these, and I also want to play with the other thing we tend to get a lot of, book pages. Okay, so I have book pages up there, I have book pages back there, I have book pages there, everywhere. But these ones are my offcuts again, and they sit to the side of me on my desk. So in here I have bits left over, bits taken off, and all the rest. So I'm going to use this and this, and a few other bits that's sitting around on my desk, things that I've cut out, some fussy cutting, some die cuts that I've got sitting around. This is what we want to do. So with our offcuts, and I mean, I've got a few here. We'll start a quick one. Look at these. And I've taken that out. So let's just start. And we'll start nice and easy. And we're going to just trim this bit out. So these can be whatever size you want. It depends on your offcut. So we're not making them to a specific size. This one, of course, I know is 3 inches by 4 inches, because that's what these little ones are. They're like the Project Life cards, but they come into... That's nice too, but we might use it from there. So, when I set those aside, I'm going to work my way through these for the rest of this weekend. I've been having a ball with all my offcuts at the moment and cleaning up. So, this is this one. I'm going to trim off this bit so that I'm just down to a size. I'm going to pop a little bit of a thumb hole in the top of that. So I'll just sit you in, like so, even that up, pop a little bit of a thumb hole in there. Okay, I will ink around and give me my dark edge to start with. Now what these are going to be, and then it's going to be kind of like a mass make. I know I'm rambling just a tad. What we want to do, all right, got that, get our book page packet, and they can be any of them. See, now I like that, but I like it for that. So we're just going to... And this is the problem, isn't it? And this is what we do. Oh, no, I can't use that, can't use that, can't use that. So what I need is a piece that's larger than that. Okay? So that one's larger than this one. All right? So I'm going to get my bone scorer, and I'm going to score about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. So just straight down there. Okay, and I'm going to score 1/4 of an inch on this side as well. So I've scored down here and I've scored down there. That I'll fold over. Give that a little bit of a push. Because if we make pockets with, it's not necessarily a gusset, but with that folded section, you're going to get more in your pocket. If you just glue your 2 pieces of paper straight together and they're nice and flat, they look great, but they don't allow you to put much more in there than 1 piece of paper. So we want to make loaded, they're not they're pockets to go in pockets. I'll show you what I mean. Right, so here's that one, here's that one. We're going to trim off this little bit, our corner, like so. So we've got 2 sides. What we need to do now is work out. And yes, this actually is 3 inches. Excuse me. Who'd have thunk it? Straight down there. Okay. Straight down there, and I'm going to trim off this bit. Doesn't have to be neat, because all we're doing is giving ourselves our seam allowance, I suppose, and we're going to trim off this bottom section so that we now have a backing for this. That'll go on, that'll go on, that'll go on, just like that. And you can just trim straight across there. They are so easy. What they are is the decorating of them. This one, of course, is not going to need much to decorate the front, but I like to decorate both sides of these. So, I'm going to sit this one here so I know where I'm going, and I'm going to glue these sections. And I know my glue's working because I was using it just a little while ago before I hung out the washing. So because the laundry is close to me, where I sit with my desk, it's quite noisy. So I tend to either get home from work or get up of a morning if it's the weekends and put a load of washing on. And then I have to wait while that washing's going before I can film. So I'm either getting ready for filming, but I did that yesterday because I was going to film yesterday. Yeah, that worked. Or like this morning, I've been playing because that's just the most fun, isn't it? Right. So you want to go close to the edge on both edges. This one we can now just sit on. We've already got them nicely folded. They're going to sit in, line it up, give it a good push, and you can just trim off that top section. Just like so. Like that. Okay, so now what you've got is a pocket that opens. So if you just glued two sides together without that, they're not going to give you much oomph. So these give you an actual pocket. Now I like to decorate both sides. So I'm going to ink in there, and I'm just going to pop a little bit in there as well because it's white. You know me, I'm not big on the white. And I'm just going to quickly swipe over that just to make it a little bit dirty. You, by all means, don't have to do that. This is just me. I like that vintage look, the well-loved look, the dirty look. That's what it is. It's the dirty look. Right, and I'm going to use my darker one just to edge the sides. Like that. Done. So we're going to decorate both sides of these. So this one's fairly good, and I probably wouldn't put anything else on there. So that was a bad starting point, wasn't it? But the back, what can we do to the back? We can do lots of things to the back. Let's just pull out some die cuts. So I've got my clocks in here. Let's have a look at that one. And again, I'm going to darken that one up. And I'm going to darken this one so that it's darker than what I've just done on there. I'm going to put a little bit more ink on that. Now that I've got a little bit more ink on there, I'm going in my circular motion, so that I don't end up with too many splodges, I suppose would be the best bet. Have a look at it. It's getting darker, but I want it a little bit darker than that again. So I'm going back to this, and I'm just using brushed corduroy, which is a mid-brown, but it means that the more I put on, the darker it'll get, because it will layer up. Right, just go around that. Let's have a look at that now. So now that's going to stand out beautifully. So I want some bits and bobs in there. Let's have a look at these. And good old labels. And these labels are just so awesome because you can just tuck as you go. And it doesn't take much to make a cluster or a flat cluster on the back of a page. Okay, I'm thinking though, now that I've got that on there, what I want is something a little bit extra. And I think I'm going to stamp something behind this. So, because that's just me. Maybe a flower. Let's have a look. Flowers. Set that one to the side. What I want is a fairly... I know what I want. And something like that would be nice up there. But I want it on that side. Maybe. What about that? If I have it over to the side, that would work. Right, so let's have a look at that one. Oh, Crafter Lanch. So I'm actually going to stamp that so that it's off the page a little bit. So I'm just having a look. That'll go in there. That will go in there. Yep. So I'm not going to worry about my stamping platform. I'm just going to do it straight on this, but I will need a piece of scrap paper under me so that I'm not stamping too much on that. I might have a little problem when I stamp this bit because I've already got that cut out up there. We'll see how we go. I need a block. Like so. And to make that easier to stamp so that you can see, I'm going to bring it that way so that the block is in both hands that way and I'm not trying to go that way. Now, colour-wise, might use the grey. I find a grey is good because it allows something to be there without it being too much in your face. Does that make sense? All right. So we'll link this up. And this is just Morning Mist in the VersaFine Claire's. I just call it grey. All right. Going that way, and I want to go off the page a little bit and down there. Give it a good push, and especially up there where we know we've got that little lip already taken out. Yeah, so see how the greys work really well for that sort of thing, because they've given you an image over the book page without it actually taking your eyes just to that. So it's just something that's going on. So now when this goes down, that's still a little bit wet. And that one goes in. Do I want that one now, or I still like the colour of that just to give it a little bit of oomph. Yeah. And that's where we have the problem. We put something we like down, but then we never want to cover it again. It's called layering. And it's really hard. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. You can either layer or you can't. And it takes time. If you can't layer, it will happen. It just takes time. Just practice with it. And I've been doing this for 20 odd years. And I still go, oh, I don't want to cover that. But overall, the overall effect makes it worthwhile. So, it's this one. And we know that grey's not quite dry yet, but for the sake of this, we're just going to keep sticking. And it's because the book page was slightly coated, I think would be the best word for it. And we'll just learn to not touch. We'll also learn to hit my edge of that before I stick that down. Like so. Right, that's gotcha. So I want my clock about there, and I'm just going to lift that up like so that I can see where I want to go with that one. Like that. Might help if I get my stamping mat out from in there. All right, same with my clock. Now, you can use your glue stick, you can use your liquid glue, you can use whatever it is that you're happiest using to glue things down. I've just got this one out, so we'll just use this one. Something this large that's nice and flat, I would probably normally just do with a glue stick. But, you know, I've got it out now. And with the fine tips, if you're doing something that's got a lot of area, it does take a while. If you haven't got quite as fine a tip, you're going to be better. But that'll do. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of these, different styles, and then we're going to fill them up. So how quick and easy are they? They're great to have sitting around, ready to go in pockets, ready to just do as happy mail, filling them up if you're a seller. Use them full of little bits and pieces for people as a thank you gift for purchasing through you. Just, they're good for those sorts of things. Right, we'll get rid of that one. We'll grab another scrap. I'm going there, aren't I? Put this away first, otherwise this craft pile that I've got sitting beside me, mate, it's going to fall and there's going to be a big crash. It is. I am trying to clean up, but it's not happening at the moment. I'll just put that one back because I just keep playing. Right, put that one back up there and we will grab another scrap. So let's have a look at these this time. Here's my scraps. We've used one of those. See, let's see if we can find just a small piece that we're not going to alter the size of. There would be some in here. Look, we can make long, narrow ones. Let's make one of those. Again, you know, just, it's time to use them. All right, there's three really quick ones. So all we need to do with this, now this one actually has writing on it and it goes that way. So I'm going to need to cut it. I want them to fit into a journal. Now, I don't think I've got any part journals here. I do, I have my altered books. We'll see if we can reach those. I'm going to chop that. I'm just going to chop it to whatever size I want. Make sure it's nice and straight. It is. So that's a good idea that it's already straight and we don't have to worry about that. And we're just going to go about there. Let's say that was my little scrap that was sitting in there. I don't know what size that is. So it's around about 2 3/4, 7 centimetres. Okay, there's that one. This one we might go that way. What do you reckon? So if you've got a trimmer, it'll make this so much quicker. But we can see that that scrap is fairly straight. Fairly straight. We will just double check. We're going that way, that way, that way. Yep, that's pretty good. And this one, it's going to be easier with the trimmer, isn't it? Let's just give in and get the trimmer. So I'm liking that section just there. How's that? That's really nice. Right. So now we've got 3 different sizes. One's going that way, one's going that way, one's going that way. We're going to put our thumb marks in them. See, and I'm going to lose that after all that. I'm going to turn that one around the other way and put the thumb mark in the, what do you call it? The book page, I'm thinking. So there's that one. And now we'll have this one. And we'll just pop that one in, that one right there. Give them a quick ink. Doesn't matter whether they're highly patterned, just slightly plain, very plain, whatever else. We're just using them as the base of our pocket so that we can actually use them up. Don't hoard them. If you've got ones in there that you're not going to use, you're not going to use. Somebody else will use them. Somebody else will like those colours. Just because we don't like those colours doesn't mean that nobody else likes those colours. Do you know what I mean? So pass them on. Pass them on to friends. Pass them on to op shops, schools, things like that. I'm sure they would love to have them. It's just a matter of, and it'll make you feel better because you're passing them on, and it'll make you feel better because you don't have so many scraps sitting around. Right, so here's our 3. Let's grab our book page packet, and we'll just pull out some of these, and we'll see what we've got. Practical bookkeeping. What are you going to fit? None? That's a pity. I like that. Oh, that one looks pretty interesting. That would fit beautifully. Look at that. So that one's going to fit. So again, we'll do our... And I'm going to do smaller than my 1/4 inch down here to make that fit, okay? Because I like that. Or I could put him on one of these, but I'm not going to get all my... That'll work. If we go there, I'll get all that, won't I? So where I'm going to go is down here, the side of this wording, so that I get all that wording. And then I'm just going to make this fit like so. Now, because you're using book paper, don't press too hard with your bone scorer, okay? So that's that one. We're going to go, that can go down there. We've got room to take it up to there. All right, and we're going to go about there. So I'm just going to shuffle that over a little bit so that it fits that one. Make sure that that's right on the edge of that. When they're a non-size type thing, you may just need to play with your bone scorer so that you can work these out. And that way, they will keep fitting. Otherwise, just bend them straight over your paper. Let's have a look at that. A little bit big, not that much. Nothing a good bit of ink won't fix. So we can trim off that bit, can't we? And the rest of that book page will live to fight another day. Make this one a little bit smaller. I want just a smaller one down here. Let's go there. I only want that about there. All right. Fold that one over to give us that bit. Trim off our corners like we were going to do prior. There's that. That one. That one. Set him in there. See how much higher he is, because I want to put the thumb notch in this one now. So he needs a little bit of a trimming off, but it's easier to put the thumb notch in prior to gluing. So I'm just going to sit him on, work him out. Trimming across there. And we can put our thumb notch in now. Okay. Just even that one up. Let's get the scissors out from underneath it. Just makes it a little bit easier. All right. Give that one a good ink. And then how are we going to pop in our pockets and all the rest? I've got a few things I want to show you. One I want to share with you. As I said, I was playing around yesterday and was using one of my copies from my originals and loved what I was doing with it. So I've popped that up in my Ko-fi shop, sitting there waiting for you just to... That'll have that on the other side, so I'm going to get rid of a little bit of that as a freebie. Okay, so you'll find if you run into my Ko-fi shop. The link will be below, and we will I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. See, that looks all right. That looks all right. There's that one. We'll glue that one down. I'll do this mess, mate. Up the sides. Need to go as close to the edges as you can, both edges, so the top one and the bottom one. You want the bottom one, of course, so that it's all glued correctly. You want the top one so that when you're popping things into your pockets, nothing will catch. The last thing you want is to keep catching when you're popping tags and stuff inside them, and all they're doing is catching, and over time they will rip. So just watch that. Right, that one's ready to decorate either way round. So we've got that one and that one. That one's not long enough. See, that would work a treat. And what we want to do is go up, thinking I'm going that side. Right, so let's say you don't have a scoreboard. So I'm going to set that up to my light so that I can see where the writing on this side goes. I don't know if you can see that. So you can see that you've lined it up with your wording down there so that we've got a little bit of, that's where it's finishing there, that's where it's finishing there. Okay, line that up so that the bottom is on a line. Line your, fold this bit up. Now this is an old paper, so just watch if it's going to crack. So if that fits in there like that, we've got our top line there. We can see where these ones are going to go, there and there. So those ones can be folded over there. So that's what I mean. If you don't have a bone folder or a scoreboard or something like that, you can do it this way. Just like wrapping a parcel, really. Okay. So trim up these edges so that you've got that 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 centimetre, something like that as your seam allowance. There's my sewing skills coming in. And then don't forget to trim off your bottom corners just so that they fold flatter when we're sitting in like that, so that you've mitered those corners. Going back over that side as well. So now what you've got is this, this, this. This one will now go on there, and you've got that one there. Okay, so again, you can adhere all that down. When the glue comes out, I'm just sitting that there so I know where to glue to. You can either make a pencil mark, if you like, it's up to you. You know me, girls. I'm going to be lazy, I'm just going to stick it all down. Yes, we could pencil mark it. Yes, we could measure it all again. And where's the fun in that? This is paper craft. There's more paper out there. If need be, we can just grab some more. Right. That's that one. I'm thinking this one might be my... Sorry, concentrating while I'm sticking that down. Right, so when you fold over, you will notice you'll get a little bit more because it's taking the thickness of the cardstock. Do remember that. Or measure and mark and then fold on those lines instead of folding over it. Okay, so here's this one. all ready to decorate. Sit those ones there. We'll put this one away. Don't know what we're doing for time. Let's have a look. 35, beautiful. Right, so we've got that one. We've got that one. And we've got that one. Now, I want to show you. Here we go. Here is one that's done, decorated. So I've just made like a cluster on the front and I've stamped and whatnot on the back. So you can do them any size you like, but this is what I want to show you. So this will make pockets. So this you will find in my coffee shop as a freebie. This popped up yesterday. This is one of my originals that I've scanned and put up there for you. So if you print it out twice, okay, we're going to pop these aside. We're going to cut straight down here. So just use your trimmer, use your scissors, use your blade, if you can find your blade. Found it with the wrong edge. Right, so straight down that one. Straight down that one. All right, and then pop that one aside. Go to your next one. Once again, down your edge, down this edge, like so. Now you'll see here where the pockets are. This one you'll see only lightly. This one you'll see it's got quite a good shadow. We're going to go down that. Okay, so straight down there. And then the same on this one. Straight down that very light, fine line for where the pocket would be. You'll use this for other things, believe me. All right, so here's this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink that edge on the inside before I glue. All right, just like that. Do the same on the inside edge of this one. All right. Pulling out this. This one we're going to glue over here. So we're going to just match that up like that. All right. So back with my glue. I'm going to hold that to the light. And I can see where that is. Goes down there. All right. This is my edge on here, so we want that glued down for our pocket. So straight down. Try and be neat. Don't, do as I say, not as I do. Isn't that how it goes? Now this is just printed out on straight copy paper, 80 GSM. All right, so we're going to match that little bit up there, and we're going to match our bottom section up there. Down there, down there. Push those tight. We're going to do exactly the same on this side. So I can see, because I'm holding it up, I can see where I'm going there. So it's got an edge there, and it goes along here. Same with this bit. If you find it's easier, cut the whole thing out. This is just me sticking it all on and then only having to cut once. Okay, straight down. So we're going to glue that one. I'm just going to turn it around. As you know, I'm a righty. I need to turn it around, so match that bit up line this section up. You should find that it all just matches up on itself and straight down. So now what we've got is technically the inside again with the pockets. But what I want to do is I'm now going to cut here. So I'm actually going to fold this, matching, because I can still see, I don't know whether you can see, I can still see where the bottom finishes here. And I can see through there where that finishes there and there, okay? So what we're going to do is fold this over, matching that bit, matching that bit. Give that a good crease. In like so. Now I'm going to glue here to make this one piece. You could always stitch along there if you wanted to. Follow your stitching line through there and make this another pocket as well. But for the ease of this, for those that don't have sewing machines, I'm going to find a piece of paper that I can glue my edge here. And we're just going to glue straight down there. You can see where this finishes. Right, down there, on that side. Right, move your gluey piece, fold that back on itself again. Give it a little bit of a push. You've got to remember that the glue is still wet, so this will feel soft and pliable to start with. Flick him over, do the same there. And then you can cut out. Now, if you look at this, it's not the same both sides, okay? So we've got some wonderful little areas. It's a matter of working out which bits you like first, okay? So I really like this section, and I really like the old look of the tape up here. So I'm going to cut this side. So I'm going to actually grab my little sharp scissors now. And I'm going to cut through all layers. Just give it a little bit of a wobble. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's meant to look old and loved and well worn. Back down with that tape in there. So you'll find on this side you've got a little bit of extra. That's why we ink. So down here, we might, let's have a look. I might take this one down on that soft bit. It's not dead straight. It's got some kinks and curves in it. All right. You've got a few little bits on this one as well. So I'm going to grab the brush corduroy again because that's more this colour. And I'm just going to sit in here and go down there. Okay. Just to get rid of that stark white so that I can start to tone it in. All right, same with down here. Work out which side of the foam you actually put ink on and go from there. All right, that little bit down there as well. And then I will go back with my darker ink just to do my edges, so that it all starts to tone in. So unless you're looking really, really close, you can't notice that you've got a white back there. Straight down. Along there. Don't forget the other side, because we've got more on one side than the other with our ink now. So you want to go down that side as well. Straight down. And what you've got now is a little pocket. As I said before, if you sew it, you'll have a 3-pocket tuck, but this will give you a pocket here and a pocket there. Aren't they gorgeous? And they fit in these beautifully. So the finished size of this one, if you're doing it this way, is not quite 3.5 inches, or not quite 9 centimetres, and the height of it is 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, or not quite 14.5 centimetres. But I love them. I want to show you some other things I've done with this one. I'll sit you in there. How lovely are they? Right, so there's that one. There's that one. I have been playing with it where I was finishing off a journal yesterday. I think it's in the first signature. Let's just have a look. Nope, not the first signature. What was I putting it in? I was doing it with something. Because I've only got a bit left. What did I do with it? All right, here's the big question. I haven't been playing with anything else, though. It's got to be in this one. One by one, Kylie. Don't flip through too much. That's just... It's not here, is it? Oh, there it is. Right, so this one I have literally just stuck one on top of the other. So I've got my 2 copies, and I've got one upside down, one the other way, and I've stuck the 2 on top of one another, which has given me this with it front and back, okay? So, and that just means then it makes a little tuck. I knew I'd done something with it. That's how I was starting to play with it. And that's why I then popped it up on Ko-fi, coffee, whatever it's called. You'd think I'd know the name of my coffee shop. But yes, so there's that one. The other thing I wanted to show you, I can't remember. Put that one in that one. I like that. Nice and easy. Let's decorate one of these ones. Oh, right. Here's the other thing that, you're there, that I've been playing with, and I've got photos, which I've put here. All right. So those, how are we going for time? 42 minutes. We're doing well. Right. These are out of books. So there's photos out there. You can buy vintage photos. You can download vintage photos and all the rest. But sometimes you might not be able to. So I tend to look for books with good black and white photos in them, like the history books. History books are great. So what I'll do is I will cut all these photos out, and then I back them onto, now this is some matte photo paper that I picked up at an op shop. It won't work in my computer, my printer. My printer will not pick it up. It's a little bit hard. I think it's a bit too heavy. I don't know. I cannot get my printer to pick it up. I use presentation paper all the time, but I cannot get the printer to pick this up. Whether it's just got one sheet of it in there, other sheets, I don't know. It won't do it. So I use it on these. So let's say we want to make these look a little bit older. So this would have been a bigger photo that I've chopped up to make good tag size ones. What I tend to do, and you could do it prior, but I do these while I'm on the road and then come back and fix them up. I will use an antique linen or something like that, and I will just go round that edge. Okay, it can go into the photo a little bit, and I'm going around in a circular motion. You could use tea dye one. You could actually use tea or coffee and paint on there. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of scunging up there. I'm just going to get my finger to it and rough it up a little bit. These are old. They've had a hard life. You know, they're not going to be perfect. Now, I will pop a little bit on that side too. Just going down, just to give them that aged look. straight down. Right, so this video's gone so far from where I was actually going to do, which was just those. We might now just call it scraps, tips and tricks. Right, what I like to do as well, and I think you've seen me do it before, is I like the little autograph stamps, as though it's come from a studio or it's somebody saying who it is, because most times old stamps will have on there who actually it is. So, you know, up there it'll have written that it's Uncle Harry or whatever else. You can write that on there. By all means, you can sit there and put those things, like, grab a Sharpie. Let's do it that way. So, and we'll put like that. So I like to do those sorts of things. I don't have an Uncle Harry. Who does? But then if I'm buying photos, I don't know who these people are either. So you can write things on there like that. I've used a Sharpie on this because this is, as I said, it was photo paper. It was matte photo paper, but it still doesn't take ink wonderfully well. So normal ones, I've got some water-based markers, but they're a really thin one, and I've got different colours in the browns, and I tend to use those because they look like they've faded through the years. Okay, so that's just another tip. But you can either use these. Now, these are from Witchcraft Do You Do, so if you've been following any of my others, you'll see that they're on that set, and they're there. They're probably my 3 most used stamps because I tend to put them on the back of faux photos. So I'm just going to pop that one back on there. And they don't even go back in my books these days, in my folders. That literally just stays on my desk. So we've got Uncle Harry here leaving home. I don't know. You make a story up. He's dropped off stuff or whatever else. Now, if you can keep going, and I'm going to add a little bit of other colour in there. So I've just picked up my foam from my brush corduroy. And now I'm just... See what happens when I come down here now? It's starting to give it that yellowed look. So if I pick up, there you go. That's what they were. That's what they become. So something like that. Let's go back to this one. I've got... I should have ready for another one. Oh, there you go. You should fit in there, Uncle Harry. There you go. So Uncle Harry will now fit in there. So easy. So easy. So things like that can also, you know, that's what you can fill. And that's why I like pockets like this which open out, because you think you could have a packet of photos in there. Let's find some different sizes. And these are all from history books. Okay, so you've got now a little packet of photos sitting in there, just ready to be aged. You find the aged one here. Again, same sort of thing. You vintage that up. And how's that? You pop that in your... I'm trying to find a journal that's close to me. It's not going to help because I've got... Hang on. I just try and give myself some more room without pulling you aside. Oh, right, got it. Flick that back round. My altered books sit in a box together just on the floor behind me. So, do we have any pockets here that are ready to do? No, I'll find a pocket somewhere. Let's find a pocket somewhere. Oh, look. Even something like that would then go in something like that. How good is that? But legitimately, I did them so that they would, go into pockets, okay? That's what I like them for. That's what I think they work the best for, but it's up to you how you want to use them. No pockets, no pockets. Just fold that one back out. There's a big pocket. So let's find our big one. So it can be sitting in there like that, or you could have it that way. You can then have them either way. That's why I decorate them both sides, so that they come out and they are their own little pocket. So you imagine with this one, there's my photo pocket, and here now is all my photos that come in said photo pocket. Look at that. Doesn't that make a sweet little thing? I've left all the pencil marks on there that have come from the shop, so I've left all those on there for you. It's, yeah, jump on in. I'll have it in description down below, the coffee shop. Jump in, download it. It's a freebie, and enjoy it. All right, girls. It's been a bit of a mixed one, hasn't it? Sorry. Till next time. Happy crafting. Bye.